Yes, students. Now, this exercise is given at the back of the chapter, or we can say at the end of the chapter. Always they have given one exercise, main exercise. So first, this exercise is given in chapter number 3. Choose the correct answers. And here husk can be removed from flour by the process of sieving. You know, previously also we have studied about this, that we can remove impurities in the form of husk, or we can say bran, different kind of word we can use for these impurities. And from our flour we use to remove these all the impurities from the flour by sieving method, with the help of sieve. Second is, after filtration, solid particles which are left on the filter paper are called residue. Its right option is residue. As you know, children, when we filtrate any liquid from the that solid particle which are present in that liquid and which are not dissolved in that, these all the solid particles are called residue. Means when they settle on the filter paper and we separate those solid particles, they are called residue. And liquid which is left or remained in the filter in the beaker, that is called filtrate. Understand? So third is, from other wastes in the scrap, how is scrap iron separated? You know that I have shown you through that an activity also when we studied about this chapter about the magnetic separation. You know that any iron thing we can separate out from other waste material. Here they ask about the waste material. We can separate out any iron thing from our useful material also. So which method we use here to separate iron things? Magnetic separation. Means with the help of magnet we can easily separate out these iron objects. Next, fourth is, after the preparation of tea, the need to filter tea leaves is to, why we filter the tea leaves? Remove impurities. Okay, we obtain tea also. These both the options are correct, but from the point of view of our chapter, you know that we have studied that why we separate the substances: to remove impurities, to get useful component. But here they have written get two useful component. You know that we only strain our tea to get the tea, to obtain the tea, not two useful components. So most of the suitable option is option B, remove impurities. Fifth is, the mixture of sand and dry leaves can be separated by the process of sieving. Here, if dry leaves are mixed in sand, then we can separate out easily by sieving method. Or you can, if they are in less amount. Here amount of leaves they have not written, but if they are in very less amount, then we can use hand picking method also. Understand? But if sand is in large amount or heap of sand is there and so many leaves are mixed in that, then we can't use hand picking method, it is very laborious, so we use sieving. 6 is, which of the following processes used to separate soluble solid from a solution? You know that if anything is soluble in water, just like salt or sugar, if we mix these kind of solid in the water, then how we can separate out those solids, because these are the soluble solids. So we can use the evaporation method. By evaporation method we can easily separate out the soluble solid from the solution, because in this method water easily evaporates with the help of heat or temperature, and what is left behind? Any soluble solid left behind in the form of salt or in the form of sugar, whatever you dissolved. So after this, children, next one is true or false. True or false they have given. Here you can see separation is done to filter out unwanted substances. You know that we never use any kind of filtration by to get unwanted substances. So this is totally false. Mixture of sand and pebbles can be separated by using sedimentation. No, we can't use sedimentation here. Sand and pebble we can separate out by sieving method only. A solution can dissolve more amount of substance on heating. Yes, it is true. You know that when we heat any of the solution, then we can add more solute in that. Understand? Suppose if you dissolve sugar in cold water, so a certain amount of sugar only you can dissolve in cold water, but if you heat that water, then more sugar you can dissolve in by heating method. Okay, the heating process. So that's why it is true. The process of winnowing can separate mixture of sugar and sand. It is false. By winnowing we can't separate sugar and sand. Salt is obtained from seawater by evaporation. Yes, it is true. You know that naturally also salt is present in the seawater in large amount. So when water evaporates, they collect that seawater in some places, and when with the help of sunlight, naturally also this water evaporate from that place and it will leave behind the salt. Okay, so salt is obtained by evaporation method. So children, this is all about the exercises of chapter number 3.